Before we dive in, if you're passionate about how technology is shaping our world, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We break down big ideas just like this, so you never miss a story that impacts your digital life. In just a few decades, America has transformed from a land of analog systems into one of the most digitally connected nations on Earth. From Silicon Valley startups to smart cities and digital government services, the U.S. has woven technology into nearly every aspect of life. But how exactly did this transformation happen, and what does it mean for the future? To understand this shift, we have to go back to the roots of the internet itself. While many countries contributed to the development of the modern internet, much of its foundational infrastructure was built in the United States. ARPANET, the early network developed by the U.S. Department of Defense in the late 1960s, laid the groundwork for the internet we use today. What started as a military experiment quickly found its way into universities and then into the commercial sector. By the 1990s, America's tech boom was fully underway. The rise of companies like Microsoft, Apple, and later Google and Amazon turned the U.S. into a global innovation hub. Personal computers became common in American homes. Email changed how businesses communicated. E-commerce started to reshape retail. All of this happened in an environment that encouraged entrepreneurship, allowed private capital to fuel big ideas, and frankly didn't stand in the way too much when it came to regulation. But the real acceleration came with the rise of mobile technology. The introduction of the iPhone in 2007 didn't just give Americans a new device. It gave them a new way of living. Suddenly, everything from maps to banking to dating was available in your pocket. American developers were quick to capitalize on this shift. Platforms like Uber, Facebook, Instagram, and Airbnb were born, each one changing an entire industry and often creating entirely new ones. These companies didn't just use the internet, they were the internet. And they helped make digital-first living feel normal. Over time, businesses and institutions followed suit. Shopping online became more convenient than going to a store. Streaming services began to replace cable TV. Even the way we work began to change. Video conferencing, remote collaboration tools, and cloud-based systems were already on the rise when the COVID-19 pandemic hit. And then everything accelerated overnight. In just a few months, millions of Americans went fully digital. Schools shifted to remote learning. Doctors started offering virtual appointments. Courtrooms went online. Government services had to adapt fast. Suddenly, filing unemployment, renewing a license, or even getting vaccinated all required a decent internet connection. It wasn't just tech companies leading the charge anymore. Entire systems had to modernize or risk falling apart. But becoming a digital-first nation didn't come without consequences. The U.S. has long struggled with the digital divide. Millions of Americans in rural or underserved communities still lack reliable access to broadband. Without that connection, they're effectively locked out of everything from remote work to telehealth to online education. And then there's the issue of privacy. As Americans live more of their lives online, their personal data has become a commodity. Tech giants collect enormous amounts of information, raising serious concerns about how it's used, who owns it, and how it can be protected. Despite these challenges, America continues to lead in many areas of digital life. From artificial intelligence to autonomous vehicles, from fintech to quantum computing, the next wave of innovation is already being shaped by American startups, universities, and research institutions. But the country is also facing increased global competition. China, in particular, has made massive investments in digital infrastructure and AI. Europe is leading the way in data protection and regulation. So the question isn't just how America became a digital-first nation, it's whether it can continue to lead in the digital age. Looking ahead, the role of government, the responsibility of tech companies, and the expectations of citizens will all play a part. Will America invest in universal broadband and digital literacy? Will it regulate big tech without stifling innovation? Will it ensure that everyone, not just those in major cities, has a seat at the digital table? The answers aren't simple, but one thing is clear: the digital transformation is not slowing down. From how Americans work, learn, socialize, and even govern, the shift toward a fully digital society is well underway. And while there are real risks, there are also enormous opportunities. If the country is willing to adapt, invest, and think ahead, America became a digital-first nation, not by accident, but by a combination of vision, entrepreneurship, and rapid response to global change. Now the challenge is making sure that digital first doesn't mean digital only, and that no one gets left behind in the process.